Hi everyone, welcome back. I thought I'd do a little Disabled Freelancer Diaries this week. It's something that I've not done for a very long time, but I was looking at my diary for this week. Because I do lots of different roles, sometimes I'll have a week that's like almost completely like my charity comms role, for example, or it's almost completely speaking or writing. And it's all mostly that one thing. Whereas I looked at my diary for the upcoming week and I thought I've actually got quite a nice balance of like all bits of the different roles that I do this week, so I thought it might be a good one to film. If we haven't met before, hi, my name is Pippa. I've been a freelancer for over 5 years now, and I also do that while managing a chronic illness, which only gives me a certain usable amount of energy per day, so I do have to work reduced hours and quite flexibly. I would say there are four sort of main strands to my freelance work. On the one hand, I have what I call my day job, even though it's still technically freelance, and that's as a communication consultant, mostly working in the charity sector. I also do speaking work. I am a writer, I write books, I write other stuff, and I also do the content creation thing on social media. The YouTube stuff obviously mostly falls under content creation, and I tend to share things like accessible travel, lifestyle, bits and bobs like that. So if you are new here, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed. Today's actually a Saturday and York Festival of Ideas is happening at the minute, so I have a speaking slot today. I've been a speaker for them for the last few years actually, and it's something that I really enjoy. So I'm doing an in-person session at the University of York. It's 12:30 or 1:30, which is never my chosen slot because to me that's lunchtime. I don't know if it's just me, that is lunchtime, but that's fine, we can make it work. And my talk today is about non-visible disabilities and how we can build a more inclusive world. It's one a little bit different to what I normally do, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes down. So going in the bag today, this is the bag that goes on the back of my wheelchair. When I do talks in person, I always try and take along a few copies of my books. I have a feeling that the talk today is going to be quite quiet. I don't know why, I just have a feeling. I don't have access to like the ticket figures or anything, but I have a feeling it's going to be a small one. So I'm just going to take 3 copies of How to Do Life with a Chronic Illness, 2 copies of University and Chronic Illness, a survival guide. I wish I'd bought these years ago. They are so handy. It just means you can prop your books up if there's like a little table or anything while you're speaking. The event organisers have my slides already, but I'm taking my iPad as a backup. I've been through my slides this morning and I always feel better just knowing that I've got this on me just in case anything happens. And my blood pressure has been doing some funky things this last week, so I've got a Lucozade just in case it's needed. That's me about done, I think, so now I will go and have a little rest and then we'll get going. I'm absolutely drained, so I'm going to keep this brief. Really lovely audience. More people than I was expecting, but still a nice, like, smaller group, I would say. Had some really good chats, good questions. But the most amazing thing of all, which I had no idea about, and it's still like blowing my mind a little bit. So as part of the Festival of Ideas, they have a bookshop set up, and I knew they were selling copies of How to Do Life with a Chronic Illness, and I also brought copies of Uni and Chronic Illness to sell as well, like I normally do, like I showed you earlier. What I wasn't expecting when I walked out of the event and over to the bookshop was to find, I think there'll have been a video before this one talking about this, but this is the first time I've seen my new book. This is the first time I've had my hands on it. My copies haven't even arrived yet, so the fact that the festival had them and were selling them is like witchcraft to me. The book doesn't even come out for like another, like at least 10 days. So when I walked over, I was like, oh my goodness. Isn't that absolutely bonkers? Like this is the first time I've seen my book, and it was at an event when I had no idea that it was gonna happen. So that was just the most incredible thing, and I can't wait to sit down and have a proper look through it all because I've waited so long for this. I really need to go to bed. But yeah, it was so lovely. I really love the way the festival is organised, and all of the people who work there and the volunteers are just so lovely. I'm going to have tomorrow, Sunday, completely reserved as a rest day, so I will pick this up on Monday. I'm just about to set off for the train station because I'm in London today and tomorrow. I'm primarily travelling down for a work thing that's on tomorrow, and originally I was supposed to be doing a brand partnership influencer thing today, but I've not had confirmation, so that's not happening today, which is a really big shame in some ways because the timing would have been perfect and it would have saved me from having to go down again at a later date, but it's all good either way. Hopefully I will get the chance to do that in the future, and this sort of thing happens a lot as well. There's lots of chopping and changing, and sometimes you'll be penciled in for something and then they'll do something else, so it's all quite normal really. But it does mean that I might have a bit of free time when I get there today. I'm either gonna go to Regent Street because there's a shop in mind that I could do with going to, or depending on how I feel, I might pay for an early check-in and just go to bed. Just have to keep it real sometimes. I would love to have more exciting plans. I would love to really make the most of the opportunity to be in London where there's all these amazing things to do, but also I'm very conscious at the minute that I have a limited amount of energy and not always as much as my brain tells me that I have. So if rest is the best option today, then that is what we're going to do. But we'll see how we go. We've made it. We have made it to the Premier Inn. This is the Hub by Premier Inn, Westminster Abbey. And I will say, while I didn't have the most favourable impression coming in because there was literally no dropped curbs anywhere, I'm in an accessible room and I'm going to sit down, hang on. I'm in the accessible room, and usually when you have the access room at a Premier Inn, it's right next to the lift and it gets really noisy. But this one, while admittedly it was a bit of a maze to get through and it's always a bit of a battle with the doors when you're by yourself, hopefully this looks like a really nice quiet location. And honestly, sometimes it feels like getting a room that's both accessible and quiet is like winning the lottery. So I've got high hopes for this one. You've all seen a Premier Inn before, but just a little look at the accessible bathroom just in case it's helpful to know. Yeah, it feels like a bit of a shame because normally I really enjoy my little like London ritual. I get on the train and I take my packed lunch and I've got my book and my headphones, and then I get here and I have a little wander and I try and do something new before I go and do what I need to do, and that's not really worked out in my favour today. Yeah, I was in a carriage with some very inconsiderate people on the train. Do you know what? I'm not even going to bore you with the details because I've bored myself just thinking about it. But yeah, that was horrible, just a lot. And then I got here and I did go and do some shopping and I did get to where I needed to go. So that was nice. But again, it's just a lot sometimes when there's people everywhere and you're trying to get through as a wheelchair user. I got to the DJI store where I was going and I got outside and I thought, oh my God, step. because it didn't even occur to me to check, and that's very silly on my part, but luckily they did have a ramp. If they didn't, I might have cried at that point. But I have managed to turn the day around a little bit. I went to St James Park, which is just so gorgeous, especially when the sun's shining. I saw some pelicans up close. Maybe it's just me. I had no idea how big pelicans were, so that's something new today. That's my new thing I've learned today. They were massive. They were like little dinosaurs. But yeah, I've got here safe. That's the important thing. I'll deal with the drop curb situation when I next go out, but first priority now is to have a little rest. Have a big rest, actually. I think a big rest is warranted now. I've been up a little bit. I've just been doing some emails while I've been sat in bed, just like trying to keep on top of things. It's always a delicate balance between keeping on top of things and reducing the amount of work for your future self, but also managing your energy like in the moment, here and now. But yeah, I've done a few little bits that needed to be done really. And now, very excitingly, I have just ordered a takeaway. I've ordered a Deliveroo. Again, this is like, it's almost like a little routine I have, and it's such a treat. Like, I go to my little Premier Inn, I get my little takeaway, and I never let myself have takeaways at home, so this genuinely does feel like a proper treat. I'm so excited. I'm just staring impatiently at this screen now, trying to will time to move faster. I've gone for Turtle Bay. I've got a wrap and some spice fries, and oh my gosh, I actually cannot wait. I'm so hungry as well. Button up the jumpsuit over the pyjamas. Nobody will know. Got the goods. Oh, this is my happy place. Life is good right now. Oh, this lighting is not very forgiving. Premier Inn, why do you do this to me? Right, I'm almost ready to go. I'm in energy conservation mode because I know the second I get in, I'm gonna have to turn it on and be my whole, hello, da-da-da-da-da. I've not even said what I'm doing, have I? Hang on. Today is the fundraising conference for the Chartered Institute of Fundraising, and I'm there as a speaker alongside Astrid, which is the small charity I work for. There's going to be 3 of us there today, so it's myself, Kat and Tor who are speaking. Our session is about how to create a culture of inclusion for fundraisers and volunteers. I went through my notes this morning, I've got them with me, and yeah, hopefully we'll get to have a little wander around and see what else is there as well. Oh, they've got puppy therapy, and I signed up, but it was fully booked. But if a slot becomes available for puppy therapy, I'm dropping everything and going. Yeah, it's going to be quite a long day for me today. My train back is at about 4:45. So I'm going to head out, and I'm going to try and manage my energy as carefully as possible as situations like this allow, which is not very much, but it should be a really good day. So let's go do the thing. So the lift in the Premier Inn broke, and they had to carry my very valuable wheelchair down the steps, which is like the worst thing ever. And I've just been told by a passerby that I deserve to be murdered because I'm a wheelchair user. So just another fun day being a babe with a mobility aid.
Is it?
It's going backwards.
Oh no. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, it's late again.
It's obviously meant to be.
Yeah. Well, come with me because I need to fix the wheel. It does it every so often.
We have made it back to the train station. The job has been done. It wasn't the best access experience I've ever had. I think events and conferences still have a lot to learn when it comes to accessibility. But something that they did really well and that I really appreciated is that there was like food and like snacks and drinks on offer throughout the day, which was also more than I bargained for. But they had written all the allergens underneath, and there was genuinely stuff I could have. So I brought lunch with me, but I could have some lunch there, which was amazing. I've even got a little cupcake to bring away with me. So big yay for clear allergen labelling. That is always such a good thing. So now I've just checked in for my train assistance. I'm just about to start the journey home, but I managed to get a seat frog upgrade, which is very, very exciting. It's Grand Central, so I mean, like, you know, manage my expectations, but it'll be really good to travel home in a slightly comfier way. And a very niche moment of appreciation for my hands, which thankfully have just started to flare up now. And I say thankfully because I'm so glad they waited until after the thing to start doing this. This is not what I was expecting my Wednesday to look like. I thought I was going to be a bed gremlin with no makeup on my face. The fact that I'm sat here right now and even speaking and upright is frankly a miracle. Ideally, I would have spent the morning very slowly and quietly, catching up on rest, and then I would have been cracking on with emails and a few other bits that I need to do throughout the rest of the day. However, I have had the green light to announce my book this evening. It is happening. And I had planned for this somewhat, so I didn't have a launch date, but I'd drafted the blog post, I'd drafted the Instagram caption, I just didn't have the visuals. So what I tried to do is I actually snapped some pictures before I set off for London on Monday, but I did them myself with my tripod and a little clicker, and the light wasn't right and I just really didn't like how they turned out. So I knew really, like, I was gonna power through, but on the train yesterday I was looking at the pictures and I thought I'm gonna have to do them again. And like, I can't even tell you how much I didn't want to do it, but I knew I had to. So I knew my mum was going to be passing by York and my flat at about 9 o'clock this morning, and she really kindly came and helped me. But yeah, it was a bit of a brutal get up this morning. Like, I can't even tell you how much I did not want to put makeup on my face again for another day in a row. But we've got the pictures. I still don't love them, but they are much better than the other ones, so that's a tick off the list. I've also just sat and filmed the video talking through this book, which I believe will have gone up before this one. I'm not going to be able to get it up today. Like, I've got to be realistic, I'm not going to be able to get that video up today, but I will spend the day now preparing the social media content for the book announcement, and I don't feel overwhelmed. This is a really enjoyable task, and I would say this is one of the few days that you feel like you can really enjoy and indulge the experience. Like, I know it's going to be really exciting announcing my book later, and I just want to really enjoy it and be very present in that. So yeah, I'm going to carry on, I'm going to crack on with all of that now, and then I'm going to take my makeup off, I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to have a big quality rest, and then we'll deal with whatever happens then. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you got this way.
How do I open you? Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, we're in. We're in. Are we in? We're in. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh. Oh. Oh, they've fallen out a little bit. Maybe I'll get them out and show you, because this isn't aesthetically pleasing what I'm looking at right now. Look at my babies! Oh, I just think they're so pretty. I know I'm biased. I do try and appreciate these moments because I don't always... Well, I'm not very good at letting myself feel proud of myself, although I'm much better than I used to be. So yeah, just seeing this, just seeing all those beautiful spines, yeah. Having a little moment. I feel like I need to say before I say anything else in this video that what I've been doing this week is not a good example of pacing, and it's definitely not my typical week, and I am very much feeling that today. I have really nice plans today, but I had that moment this morning when I woke up and I thought, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but it's okay. Some time has passed, I've revived a little bit, and I'm still going to have a lovely day. One of the very best things about freelance life is that today's a Thursday and I'm about to go and have a very fun day and not at all a work related day, unless I choose to make it one, but more on that later. I am off to Leeds today to see my lovely friend Chloe, and we're going to go to the matinee performance of Little Women, and it's Anne-Marie Casey's version, and I've been wanting to see this for such a long time. It's been to York twice and both times I've had tickets, but something has happened which meant I had to give up the ticket, so finally going to see it today, which I think will be absolutely amazing. We've had these tickets booked for such a long time as well, so it feels a bit weird that it's finally come around, but actually we also have tickets booked for a show in 2026 as well. Yeah, Chloe won't mind me talking about this, but we both have different disabilities and different access needs, so we do like to book in advance as early as possible, and there are extra steps that we have to take if we want to go together. It does take a little bit of extra strategizing, but it's totally worth it when we can do nice things like this. And originally I was planning to film a reel about our theatre experience today with that same angle, like going to the theatre when you have two different sets of access requirements, and I would really like to do that, but I am struggling today, so if I set off and I'm not feeling brilliant, I might just choose to focus on enjoying the day instead. There's always that line to be drawn when it comes to content creation, like whenever there's an opportunity to do something that you think will work well, you always want to lean into that, but at the same time it's like you don't want to do that at the expense of your own enjoyment, because today is about just having a nice day and a good catch up. Chloe does a very similar line of work to me as well, so we always have some good catch ups and some good debriefs, which is so important when you're a sole trader as well. Oh, and I forgot to say as well, the book announcement stuff all went really well yesterday, which was so much fun. It was so nice. It's weird because you're announcing this like really big thing, this thing that you've been looking forward to, but in reality, if anybody would have looked at me in that moment, I was just sat on my sofa underneath my blanket as always with my little cup of tea, just like staring at my phone and my laptop. But yeah, people have been really kind and they're excited for the book, which is just so lovely. It's such a great feeling when that happens. I don't have access to any sort of like sales figures or pre-order figures or anything like that, so I'm just going off what people have said, but yeah, feeling good, feeling really good about it. Anyway, that's enough waffling. Let's go to Leeds, let's have a nice catch up with Chloe, and let's go to the theatre. Say hi! This is crazy, look how big they are! Oh, my phone battery is dying, my own battery is dying, so I will keep this brief. I've had such a lovely day. The play was incredible, I knew it would be. Am I wonky? Yeah, the play was like magical. It was so good. It was simplistic in lots of ways, like the set barely changed, the costume barely changed, it was only a minimal cast, but got me here. It got me right in the feels. I didn't cry, but I was very close to crying in a few different places, and honestly I could have sat there and watched it for another hour. It was just mesmerizing. It really brilliant, and it really invoked, like, I think I want to use the word nostalgia even though it wasn't my own nostalgia. It was just so beautifully done. And I had such a nice day with Chloe as well. I didn't film much because we managed to have a very good chat, a very thorough debrief, and film the reel, so quite a successful day all around, but I can tell that I'm running on adrenaline now, which is not good, and that's something that I try to avoid wherever possible. So I think I'm actually going to end this video here, which is not what I wanted to do, and it's safe to say this hasn't gone how I planned. Like, this has not been a typical week at all, and on reflection I don't know if it was the best week to film, although I'm glad I did because like the book announcement and all the bookish stuff. Yeah, I think I'll try this again another week, and I think I'll try for a more representative week. Like most of the weeks where I'm just sat at my desk, like I think I do want to film that. I've just got to figure out how I'm going to make that interesting to watch. So if anybody has any ideas, please let me know. I'm much more likely to pick up the camera and film when I have got stuff on and when I am leaving the house, because I feel like that will be more interesting to watch, but I also don't want to give people a false idea of what my reality is like, probably like 80-90% of the time still. I have got 2 things that do have to be done tomorrow, but I think I'm mostly going to treat tomorrow as a rest day, because I think it's what my body needs, and I think I just need to like retreat into myself and just like not speak and just like focus on recharging and getting myself back to my baseline, because it has been quite a full-on week in lots of ways. So yeah, for now I will just say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. You can subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.